That was pathetic. That was absolutely pathetic. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another post game here on Mets Central. This is post game 75 as the Mets get absolutely railed by Chris Sale as they lose 5-0 to the Atlanta Braves. So far, this is feeling like a carbon copy paste of the Ray series, right? Because the first game they urinate all over themselves and probably should have won the game, but poor managerial decisions in there didn't help. And then they get absolutely pantsed in the next two. To be determined on the third game. But for tonight, so far, we are on track to repeat what we just saw. And honestly, this is way worse. Not because of the fact that, because the Braves are a better team than the Rays, no doubt. But this is worse because of the fact that it is the Braves. And this is worse because you have Chris Sale at 80 years old diving across the diamond to make a play in the infield. Meanwhile, the Mets have two catchers that cannot catch a baseball, an infielder who can't even just keep the ball simply in the infield, outfielders missing throws. I just don't understand how this team plays so fundamentally flawed compared to last year, because last year this team was so sharp defensively. One of the best, honestly, actually the best defensive team I've seen the Mets assemble in my lifetime. The best. And no, it's not just because of, I don't want to hear, oh, they got Juan Soto. No. Because the same guys that were here last year are making mistakes that they were not making last year. And it is so infuriating to watch this team play fundamentally flawed baseball. And, on top of that, they barely hit tonight. Forgot to mention that part, right? The biggest elephant in the room, which I'm sorry. Chris Sale, potential Hall of Famer, Cy Young pitcher, elite, ace, all due respect to him. With all due respect, this offense is being paid to be one of the best offenses in baseball. I will sit here. I could sit here and say, okay, it happens. You lose every now and then. But every time they face an elite pitcher, I feel like we're saying this. But the worst part is, at least, if you lose, it's fine. At least look competitive. Look competitive. Because Starry Marte was the only one that actually looked like he belonged in the same league tonight with Chris Sale. And that takes a lot for me to say. Because you had a pity bloop hit from Brandon Nimmo late in the game. Taylor and McNeil got hits too. Anyway, though, leave a like on your way in, subscribe, turn on your notifications, all that stuff. I'm just so annoyed because 5 straight losses now. 5 straight, and the division lead is closed down to 1 game. And I just wanted them going into this 10-game stretch here between the Braves and the Phillies to stay afloat, right? Stay afloat. And to start off 0-2 in these 10 games, that is just not good at all. And that does not convince me that you were going to stay afloat. I'm still more mad about yesterday because when I looked at the pitching matchup, I didn't have faith. I didn't have faith when I saw the pitching matchup. When I saw it was Paul Blackburn versus Chris Sale. Right then and there. Right then and there. Did I think, though, again, it was going to be this bad? No. No. Because every time the top guys in the order, Lindor, Soto, Alonso, those 3 guys, anytime those guys are cold at the same time, the bottom of the order is never going to come through and bail them out for at least 1 game. It just does not happen. And again, on top of that, poor defense. You have Luis Torrens making a mistake that you learn in Little League. You cannot play the ball with your mask. And here he is playing the ball with his mask. I didn't know it was a balk, truthfully, but I knew you couldn't do that. And here he is doing that. And then there were like 2 or 3 pass balls on him because he's just not simply catching the baseball. He's not simply doing his job back there. But yeah, I mean, first at bat, Acuna just absolutely sends one to another dimension off Paul Blackburn. And that was all I needed to see. And you know what? Paul Blackburn, I have low expectations. I am not a Paul Blackburn guy by any means. I think I've made that very clear on this channel. But you know what? Even though he had the rough first inning and the second inning was a little shaky too. Sure, the inning count you want more of from him. He kept you in a spot where you could win the baseball game. He kept you in a spot for that. And one of the runs isn't even his fault because, again, Little League mistakes being made. He at least did that, but this offense, nothing. Nothing. Again, I could sit here and tip my cap to good pitching every now and then. I could, tip my cap and say, you know what? They were just better every now and then, but this offense is making as much money as they are to hit elite pitching. And there are too many times where this has happened throughout the season where they don't even look competitive. At least show me competitive at bats. Because you know what you're going to face in the playoffs? Elite pitching. You are going to face that in the playoffs. Whatever. And then Friday is going to be interesting because you have the spot start there, and this pitching staff is just so worn down right now, and it is very apparent. It's very, very apparent that this pitching staff is being ran right into the ground right now, and that's why you're seeing worse results from these guys as well. These guys are being ran into the ground. That's why it's hard to sit here and blame them. Because at the end of the day, it would be nice if this offense that's being, again, I'm going to reiterate the point, being paid. They're being paid to hit off of elite pitching and all pitching alike. They don't even look competitive. And the runners in scoring position thing has obviously been a problem all year. But, I mean, just not even getting runners on base tonight really at all. Not even doing that. And then Frankie Montas is going to come back. He didn't have a good rehab start again. It looked like it was going well. He had like 3 or 4 scoreless innings, and then all of a sudden, 4th, 5th inning comes along, and he allows 5 runs in that rehab outing. Hopefully, things will be different when he's back up here. I am not confident about it, but stranger things have happened, I guess. I don't know. It's just, again, the point that I made on the podcast, it's more the fact that I hate that's happening now out of any time. I hate it. And people will be like, oh, well, would you rather happen late in the season? This type of stretch? First of all, obviously, I'd rather not happen at all. Second of all, I know that's unrealistic. Third of all, I prefer for it to not happen against division rivals. That's the part that's the most infuriating is this stretch here, which will they get out of it? I think they will. When? I don't know. But It's annoying the timing of this stretch of baseball being played. It's very, very annoying that this is what it is right now. But let me see what you guys are saying in the chat right now. Um, as we continue to talk about this, because there's a lot to obviously discuss here. This team is hard to watch. Lately, yes. A trade or two has to happen. I got bad news for you. Ain't happening anytime soon. It's not. I would love for a trade to happen, and I'm with you that I think they do need to look at external help. I don't see it though right now. I really do not see it, unfortunately. By the way, I don't feel like I plug enough the socials, by the way. So follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Core Python. Follow me on TikTok, Met Central _ I think. You can find me there. That might be the account. I gotta get back into putting content up on that. If you're a cold team and or the Mets are the team to get going against, lately, yeah. Lately, yes. Feel your pain. I cannot watch the Yankees anymore because of horrible fundamentals, quiet bats, it blows. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. I mean, the runners in scoring position thing is still, again, the most infuriating thing of it all. Stars need to get to work. This team will not go far if they can't clean up their messes. I've been screaming this for a bit, right? And like it goes beyond at this point the runners in scoring position thing because this team has not played good defense most of the season. They haven't, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on compared to what we saw last season from this team defensively, but it's not the same. It's not the same at all, and it's a shame. Sometimes the Mets play bad, but they completely forget how to play the sport in that stadium. Feels like it every time. That's what's very annoying. That stadium, that stadium pisses me off. That stadium makes me so mad. 120 pitches in June, they could have it. Yeah. So annoying how this will be the second time already this season blowing a 5.5 game lead in the division. I've never seen that before, if I'm going to be honest. I can't remember a time either, and that's what's annoying. It's just like, I think everyone would be a lot more calm, including myself, if they just held on to win that first game against the Rays like they should have, and if they held on to win last night's game like they should have. But instead, lack of putting games away, lack of pitching depth at the moment because the depth is being tested so much. And then the offense, again, the bottom of the order is a joke. And then it's just like when the top guys don't have it, you're not doing anything because the bottom of the order is that ineffective. It is painful to watch the bottom of the order right now, truthfully. And again, it's a shame because you were hoping that, one of these young guys would really take advantage of the opportunity here and really show something between Mauricio, Alvarez, who are waiting to take a step forward. I don't know if we're ever getting the power hitter again. At least maybe not here until a certain someone's gone. Beatty and Vientos. Nah, no. I mean, we got it with Vientos last year, but we'll see if, when he comes back, if it's going to help him because he's going to get rehab appearances in AAA. Maybe that will be a confidence booster, but I have to see it to believe it. And it's just a shame that, no one else is really taking an opportunity and running with it at all. You and I both, but I guess we have to just hope that it goes better than expected. Unfortunately, there's nothing you and I could do. Yeah, similar to the Schwellenbach game last year. Strider and Wheeler coming up next. Fun times. Yeah, I don't know. I at least feel good that they have Clay Holmes going out there tomorrow, but I can't even count on this offense to do anything right now. Seriously can't. Long term, am I worried? No, but short term, a big concern for now. They just have to play good enough till the deadline. Sometimes teams need to go through adversity, even though it's frustrating. I mean, long term, I'm a bit worried about things because a lot of these defensive miscues, again, have been happening since the start of the season, and those have to be cleaned up. Those have to, because you just cannot have this poor of defense going forward. And the deadline, there's only so much help you could get to fix how fundamentally flawed this team is defensively. And then there's so many holes to address that's like it will help, but I need to see more from these other guys. I have to, because there's just so much here that has been happening since April. And obviously it's not all bad. I don't want to sound like they haven't done anything good this season, but just the runners in scoring position thing. And the fact that they have struggled a good amount against top end pitching at points. And it takes like getting to the bullpen to really get going against these guys. And the pitching has to be perfect to keep them in the game for that point. Like, you get what I mean, though. All right. And yeah, this is what it comes down to, unfortunately, is that we just have to hope that when he's back up here, things will be better with him. And again, am I counting on it? No, not at all. But it's all we could do, unfortunately, at this point. And they need him badly to be good. If I had to guess, they're gonna do a opener with Waddell or Hageman, and then, or maybe they'll even have both up here on the roster for that day, and then maybe Brazabon gets into that game if they could save him tomorrow, of course. Which now, I mean, you gotta try to. Will they be able to? I don't know, because they use so many arms today between Budo, Castillo, Ty Adcock, and Garza. Maybe Adcock goes down, and they bring in a fresh arm for tomorrow to help with that, like Davinsky or someone. I don't know. We'll see. But that's my guess. They should just call up a starter. I mean, they could do that. They could call up one of the starting prospects. But at the same time, I don't know if they want to do that to, mess with any of their development at all, and, hurt their confidence just for one game, because they know they're not going to be here long term. Could it be? Maybe. Maybe they'll do that, but I don't know if I see it. I would like to see Nolan McLean. I mean, Nolan McLean would be, at least I'd have something to be excited about going into Friday's game. And he's been pitching extremely well in Syracuse. I just don't know if realistically I see it. But we'll see. I could be wrong. And I'd love to be wrong, because I would gladly take watching Nolan McLean. We just have to. Again, I just don't know if we're gonna see it. So insane that he was hitting as well last year on top of pitching. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up here though. Thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know I upload or go live, and I'll see you guys in the next one.